Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, another edition of ESL Open Cup Americas number 214. We are back in, what, less than 24 hours? 9 hours later. It's from the previous broadcast, and this is part of our catch-up session. Our catch-up I Am Katowice session, or section of broadcast here, where these events did occur during, in the midst, and right after I Am Katowice. We did miss out on them, and here we are catching up on what did occur, what did transpire less than, what, 48 hours ago? It's been a couple of days. It's been a couple of days since these events did go down, and currently I'm living in Europe. Currently I'm living in Poland for the next couple of weeks, for the next month or so, and as a result, we actually can't cast ESL Open Cup Americas live anymore. I mean, I could. Technically I could, but it's at a really bad time slot, and instead we're going to be covering ESL Asia live, ESL Europe live, and we're going to be covering Americas via replays instead. That is the current plan when it comes to our scheduled broadcasts. That is how we are going to approach this. So we have quite a number of matches available for us right here before your very eyes. So, dzień dobry, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back. And we have our first matchup of the night. It is going to be MaxPax versus Maples. As a reminder, these events, again, they occurred a couple of days ago, and I believe a lot of players were still traveling. I believe most of the Koreans were still in transit, making the way back home to South Korea. So again, players, your regulars like Dark, Hero, Björn, Kyor, they won't be, or they were not available for this event. Instead, you had players like DRG, Nightmare, and Classic, and Su. You know, there are some key Koreans that didn't travel to IEM, that didn't qualify, that otherwise would have been competing in this event instead. Likewise, a lot of the Europeans were also still traveling or were taking a break. They were either traveling or just resting after a very intense weekend of StarCraft. So I don't blame them whatsoever for just resting and not quite competing in this. That's why Clem isn't here, for example. Clem, he didn't take part in this tournament. But there is a big name European that has been playing in all these online weekly tournaments because he did not travel. That is MaxPax. MaxPax did not travel to Poland, did not take part in I Am Katowice. Again, he doesn't take part in offline events, but online events, that is his wheelhouse. That is where he does thrive, and he is going to be the one to beat. Again, we did cast last week's tournament last night, which was ESL Open Cup 213 Americas, and MaxPax did come out on top in that tournament. He also won last night in ESL Open Cup Europe, or I said last night, 2 nights ago in ESL Open Cup Europe, where we did cast him, and he made his way all the way to the grand finals. He took down Lambo in the finals. Lambo did take a map, but only a single game off of MaxPax. Likewise, Wayne also took a map off of MaxPax in the finals of ESL Americas, but wasn't able to take the series. So again, so far he has been looking unstoppable. Can he be stopped? Can he be slowed down? We're here to find out. We are here to find out. Oh boy. Picture. It's beautiful, Mappy. It's a beautiful picture. Beautiful. Poland has ruined your passion. It's the same passion, the same amount of broadcasts. Basically, when I was in Australia, I would cast Asia and Americas, and I wouldn't cast Europe. Here, I'm casting Asia and Europe, and I'm catching up with the Americas, doing replay casts. We didn't even do replay casts of Europe. I did. So really, we're casting even more now that we're here. We're casting even more, and here we go. We have our first matchup of the night: MaxPax versus Maples in a PvP. Oh boy, let's go, Bobby. Let's go. You really like Poland, right? I mean, it's not bad. It's a nice country. It's definitely a nice country. I mean, I haven't been able to explore all of the country. It's quite large, but regardless, I've enjoyed what I have experienced so far. And yes, we're diving into the quarterfinals match here. MaxPax versus Maples. A bit of a clash of styles. We have MaxPax, the best, of course, from Europe. We have Maples, one of the crazier Protoss players out there in the land of the Americas. Known for his aggressive, cheesy, and unorthodox style. I don't know what to expect, but it's going to be a lot of fun nonetheless, I'm sure, as we get ready for our PvP. Vamonos. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Golden Aura, we have our Danish Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Storm Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the Canadian Protoss, the Red Protoss player, representing Team Gosu. It is Maples. Here we go, MaxPax versus Maples. Make the ape, if you will. I'm shaking my head. Hold on, I'll fix that. I'll get on it, papi. I'll get on it. Aye, aye, aye. Try to get on it. Beautiful. Beautiful. So we do have our first PvP. Now, I'll be honest, I haven't casted Maples in months. It's been a long time. I think the last time I casted Maples was the DreamHack Atlanta qualifiers, if I'm not mistaken, which was like November of last year. It's been a while. It has been a while here, so I'm curious to see how he has adapted to the new meta. I'm curious to see how he has adjusted himself here, especially considering that, again, we have a new map pool, we have a new patch. Maples has had some time to really digest what's been going on, is going for a 2-gate opener on the high ground, and MaxPax going for a gate expand from the high ground as well. Very interesting. So we have seen MaxPax use these variations on smaller maps. So this is still a gate expand setup, is going double gas, so this should be a gate cybercore into Stargate into an expansion. Unlike his opponent, MaxPax only has one gateway, so Maples has the option to all in. Now, MaxPax is a bit of a safer opener in a way. It's safer because his first production buildings are here on the high ground and we can defend on one base. It does mean that the natural is a little bit more exposed and a little bit more wide open to attack, as we do actually invest in the first Zealot. First Zealot does arrive for MaxPax. We do have the Stargate on the way behind this. Again, we did mention it was a double gas follow-up, so it is a prioritization of Stargate first, then we expand. Pylon has been thrown down, but that is the purpose of this Zealot. Zealot going to be able to focus down this Pylon, going to be able to take an expansion a little bit later than MaxPax would have liked. It is going to be slightly delayed, but only slightly, as, yeah, we do have the minerals for that Nexus, and we do throw down a second Pylon. So a big delay there for MaxPax. Meanwhile, Maples back at home open up 2 gates into a Stargate as well. Aggression is upon us. We're going to be opening up double Adept into additional Adepts into, I imagine, Oracles as well. And there's the expansion of MaxPax. Now, Maples, he did see the Stargate. Fun fact, he does have the option to go into Phoenixes. If he so chooses, he can go for a Phoenix. He can try to hard counter this Oracle and shut down the opener of MaxPax. Or he can throw caution to the wind and just double down, invest, and go for the Oracles. There it is. Oracle is on the way. Probe does confirm, does scout, and does get eyes on the Oracle opener of Maples. So MaxPax fully aware of what's going on. And we'll see if we can get any damage done. The first Oracle zooming across the map as we speak. Maples towards the bottom left. Is he going for the gold? It looks like he is. We have the money for it. We have the minerals. The gold base is being taken. Behind this, we are going into Phoenixes. Ooh, this is going to be awkward. Okay, Oracle goes in. We have a shield battery in position. Phoenix does come out. So it was a Phoenix first here from Maples, and he's going to be able to shut down the first Oracle. Pretty big start here for Maples. Does get the first Oracle, and does have a slight Phoenix lead as well, as he does move out across the map. Now, both players are investing here into Phoenix production. We're going Mass Phoenix. Shield battery is cancelled, as we do not need it. And we are entering our Phoenix Wars. Now, I say we're entering. We kind of are, but that is a Twilight Council. That is not a second Stargate. So Maples, he's deviating away from Phoenixes into either Blink Stalkers or potentially a Dark Shrine, as he tries to get away with that gold. So far, MaxPax still in the dark, still unaware as to what's going on, is checking the bottom left, and MaxPax, he will come across that Nexus. Big scout here from MaxPax. Is aware of the ninja base. And there it is, DTs. Yep. Does recall towards the bottom left. Dark Shrine is on the way. And we don't have any detection for the time being. We do have access to an Oracle, but no Oracle for the time being. Or no Oracle yet from MaxPax. Adepts will continue to threaten Shades. Maple's going for a proxy gateway here. Has been unscattered from MaxPax. Instead, he's sending everything, rallying everything across the map towards that bottom left-hand base. Dark Shrine, it's still halfway done. Not even halfway done. And Maples is going to be in some trouble. He throws down his shield battery. He does move his army over. A couple of Adepts. A couple of Phoenixes. And with the help of these Phoenixes, we should be able to clean up this army. As I say that, here come the Phoenixes of MaxPax, and he does collapse here on the army. Every single Phoenix is going to be going down. Maples, he loses control of the air and control of the ground as well. Adepts are falling one after the other. Yeah, the Mass Phoenix just becoming a little bit too strong here. This is what happens in PvP. If you do stop producing Phoenixes, things just snowball very quickly out of control. And Max actually takes a massive army supply lead. Our boys are being pulled. we get us around. Let's go. We get us around. We kill the Stalker at least. The goal base getting back up and running. Yeah, but GG gets called. There's just not enough here. Not enough to try to keep up, to try to catch up. And MaxPax will take game number 1. GG. GG, well played. It's one of those things where in PvP, it's very similar to TVT, where if you're locked into making Cyclones, if you stop making Cyclones, then your opponent will just snowball out of control and kill you. So you have to try to keep up with their production, at least until you can get into, like, say, tanks, for example. In PvP, if you're making Phoenixes, you have to keep making Phoenixes. Otherwise, you will be at a deficit, as we just saw, and your opponents will just annihilate your army and take advantage of you, of your economy, of your ground forces. And with that, MaxPax does take a 1-0 lead. But I appreciate the creativity out of Maples, and I'm expecting more of that in Game 2. Let's go. Let us go. I see in the chat, is this live? The cast is live, but this is a replay cast. The events of these matches did occur a couple of days ago. I believe 2 days ago, or just under 48 hours. Oh no, yeah, just over 48 hours. These games did occur. We are just catching up here on those matches. And spawning in the top right hand corner of Hecate, we have our blue Protoss player from the land of Denmark, representing Storm Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have the red Protoss player representing Team Gosu from the land of Canada. It is Maples. I'm sorry for sharing your pic. That's just way too funny. No, it's fine. I love it. I love it. What do you mean? I sent you a love heart, Papi. What are you talking about? It's fun. All good. All in good fun, Papi. All in good fun. As we are sending our probe scatter across the map. Max Axis, I'm going for the low ground gate instead. So again, should be a gate, cyber core into expansion. We'll keep an eye on the gases. 2 gases have been taken, so there should be another Stargate first before Nexus from MaxPax. Meanwhile, Maples back at home is opening up 2 gateway. Double gate opener here out of Maples. And I'm curious if he goes for a 1 base all in, and if he does, how will he try to piece it all together? Will we see like a 4 gate all in, a blink based all in, proxy robo? We do have options. MaxPax is going to be setting up his wall in the low ground. Cybercore is on the way. Do you see Maples going to try and delay the expansion? Has Maples seen the main base? He hasn't. So this pylon block isn't really too useful. As we can see, MaxPax again was planning on going for a Stargate anyway. Is forced to chrono out that Zealot though. But to make the Zealot, as from here we can opt to cancel. As we actually let it finish. Okay, very safe play here out of MaxPax. There's that Stargate that we spoke about, and now we should be going for our expansion. Meanwhile, Maples, what is our plan? What are we doing? We do have a pylon, we do have a probe in the center of the map, looking to throw down a pylon. Speaking of, the Zealot is actually hunting for that pylon, looking for any kind of stray proxy. checking the close by locations. Oh, Max Packs. Papi. Ay, ay, ay. Kills the Ursidon in the center of the map. He's an animal, Papi. Who's the real ape? That's the question. Este Max Packs. Calm down. Back at home, it's going to be a Stargate opener out of Maples, and we do still have our probe here towards the left-hand side, but it's looking like an expansion. So 2-gate opener into expand. Now, the downside here is that MaxPax is ahead when it comes to his Stargates, when it comes to his Oracle production, and he's ahead when it comes to his base as well. So, MaxPax, he feels strictly ahead in this sense, if Maples expands. Meanwhile, Maple once again going Phoenix first. I do like this. Remember, last game he went Phoenix first. He killed the first Oracle, but then Maples decided to stop Phoenix production and did fall behind in the overall Phoenix counts, and that snowballed in favor of MaxPax. Meanwhile, Maples is going for a ninja base. Okay, we're going for a hidden expansion. Oracle moves out. Meanwhile, we do have the Phoenix on the way. There we go. Phoenix has been lying in wait. Does collapse here on top of the Oracle. The Oracle is going to be shut down at the same time we get across the map. The depths, they do shade in. The wall was just barely not a wall. And one Adept does go down. Clutch moves there out of MaxPax. Again, 2 Adepts, 1 short probes. But 6 workers have gone down nonetheless. As the Adepts, it looks like they had gone into the main base earlier. Not too bad. 6 worker kills here. MaxPax falling behind slightly in that worker count. Still doubling down on Phoenix production. And MaxPax, sorry, god damn it. Maples. They both start with MA. Maples is going for a second Stargate. I do appreciate this. He's going double Stargate Phoenix. This is what I wanted out of game 1. This is what I wanted out of game 1. We're getting it here in game 2. Can Maples keep this up? Can he keep this ninja base hidden and maintain his economy? Well, Maples, he does end up engaging across the map. Loving the use of that Oracle from MaxPax, using it to tank some shots. Adepts, once again, they do shade past the army. Yeah, in towards the main base. Phoenixes do pounce. We do have a defensive shield battery. Up! MaxPax, though, does overextend. 1 Phoenix goes down. Big pickup. 1 Phoenix does fall. More probes are falling here in the main base as well. This is a lot of damage. MaxPax in a bit of trouble here across the map, though. He depowers all the gateways. Uh-oh. MaxPax, he depowers the gateways, pushes into the main base at the same time. Phoenixes are turning back home. They turn back around. Shield battery is going to be targeted. And it looks like MaxPax should be cleaned up. As I say that, these Stalkers are doing so much damage. And again, they're just giving him so much breathing room. At the same time, the Oracle. No, we come across the ninja base and we do wreak havoc here. Probes are going down left and right. GG gets called. And MaxPax, despite the chaos that was ensuing, despite the workers that he had lost, he does take the series here 2-0. He gets out of control, kills far too many workers, and claws his way back in. GG. GG, well played. I mean, there was nothing to protect that natural base, and I'll be honest, I don't think the natural base was necessary there. I don't think the ninja base was necessary for Maples. I don't think he had to be that crazy. I don't think he had to be that spicy. Like, a regular base would have sufficed, and he could have found himself in a better position. Regardless, GG, well played. Shout out to Maples for causing damage and causing chaos, but alas, wasn't able to keep up with MaxPax and Grace under pressure. You know, MaxPax, despite losing so many probes, he was able to just keep a cool, calm, and collected head and take the series in the end. GG. GG, well played. Again, Maples, he was doing a good job dealing damage, but again, wasn't quite able to capitalize on that, and his own nonsense and his own craziness kind of backfired on him a little bit there. GG. With that, MaxPax does advance on to the semifinals. Maples is eliminated, and now we're heading over to another quarterfinals match. Over on the other half, on the other side of the brackets, we have a PVT waiting for us. Classic versus Nicaract. Let's go. Let us go. Classic is a player that we missed yesterday. If you remember, we also casted ESL Americas 213. And it was a finals between MaxPax and Nightmare. And I was a little bit shocked to see that Classic wasn't there. Classic was not a part of that tournament. but here he is. Here he is again. Classic is one of the few Koreans that did not travel to IEM. He did not go to Poland. Classic barely didn't make the cut. As a result, he's been chilling back at home, and he is available to play in these online weeklies. And we'll see how far he's able to go. And we'll see if Nickrat can stop him. Again, Nickrat recently joining the Platinum Heroes. He was on Psystorm Gaming for a while. Then more recently, he switched over to Twisted Minds. And now he has since left Twisted Minds and joined the Platinum Heroes. He's actually up against his ex-teammate. Oh boy. He is up against his ex-teammate, and we'll see if he can keep up with him. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have our South Korean Protoss player, the Red Protoss representing Twisted Minds. One of the best Protoss in all of South Korea. It is Classic. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Blue Terran player representing his new team, the Platinum Heroes. It is Nickrat. Here we go. Again, Platinum Heroes actually picked up a lot of players, I imagine, for the upcoming season of WTL. Or I say I imagine. We do have confirmation that the Platinum Heroes, they lost a bunch of players. They lost Firefly. They lost DNS. I think they still have Shutdown. But again, they have been bleeding out some of their top players. DNS and Firefly specifically. They also lost Baby Marine. Vendetta left as well. So Platinum Heroes did bleed out a lot of players over the new year, but they've been replacing them with a lot of the ex-Twisted Minds players. I believe a lot of players like Nickrat, Young Yakov. They picked up a bunch of Polish players as well, like Snogstar and I believe Aristory. So yeah, the Platinum Heroes, their roster has been shifting quite a bit. Here. And we'll see if Nickrat is reinvigorated by his new team. Again, he's a great player. Nickrat, he's around the middle of the pack when it comes to the European Terran players. And I would say that his best matchup is TVT. He does thrive in the TVT matchup. Against Protoss, he isn't too bad either, but he's up against Classic. That's the thing. Classic, he is poised to make a deep run in this tournament. Just like Max, can anyone stop him? It all depends on the lineup, on who is available here this week. As Nickrat is going for an economic opener, he's going for a Rax Expand, single gas opener here out of our Blue Terran, and going for his Reaper Scout across the map. Is going for his Reaper Scout. Again, is gonna try to find a way into the main base. He's gonna be deterred by the wall. Adept is gonna be shooing that Reaper away, and we have our tech of choice. Classic is gonna be opening up not Twilight Council, but with a Stargate hidden at the natural. Very interesting position, and it will get scouted. Will get scouted in the end here at the natural base. So Nickrat is now fully aware of what's going on. Back across the map, Classic does get here, does delay mining, or does delay the production of the low ground CC. A good RNG out of Nickrat, keeping that SCV on the left hand side. Getting a bit of progression, but this is still a big delay here on that command center. Oh. Very nice control out of Classic. Does take down the SCV just barely in time as well. We were seconds away. Ooh. Adept and Reaper do kill each other. Again, the CC still heavily delayed and now going to finally be finishing up. And we are getting into Phoenixes. If this was Hero, I would have assumed Oracle first, but no, it is going to be Phoenixes into a Robo. This looks like Phoenix Colossus. A very standard, a very meta unit composition. Very meta opener here in PvT. I'll be honest, this build has kind of fallen by the wayside. We've been seeing a lot more Blink Stalker based openers, especially against the Cyclone builds of kind of modern day of the past couple of weeks. So it's a little bit refreshing to see Phoenix Colossus once again after so long. Meanwhile, Phoenix does get in. We get a full scout. We get confirmation that it is going to be a 3 racks follow-up here by Necract. A very committed build. We're going to be hyper-fixated here on building up a Marine army, and we're going to be pushing with Stim. Now, the downside is that the push of Necract will not have medevacs. No medevacs to support, which means every Stim does count. We can't waste them. We can't use them a little bit too freely. To hold on to those Stims as best we can. The army is already moving out. As we work towards our transition into eventually medevac production. Now, Classic is fully aware of what's going on. He does have a shield battery, does have 2 sentries. Now, this ramp leading up into the natural is quite large. It's a very wide ramp, so it's going to take a lot of force fields to really slice up the army. On top of that, specifically on this map, you can actually get onto this point of elevation at the center of the map. We can just go up this ramp here in the center, and we can, of course, lay siege upon the would-be third base. Force fields aren't going to be anywhere near as impactful as it would on other maps. So Classic does get a safety immortal, does get a second safety immortal as well. It's a very safe play here out of Classic. The bay is done. Colossus production should be commencing momentarily. And Necract, he will be consolidating his army, but here we go. He is pushing. Stim just finished up. We have we have +1 armor. We have a concussive shell in the way. And Necract is committed. Now, bearing in mind, this is not an all-in. We're working on the next step. But ideally, this needs to get damage done. This needs to trade well. Taking down the sentries, maybe an immortal. We still want forward to go for the shield battery. Good force fields here out of Classic, cutting the army in half. We do cut the army in half, and Marines are going down, and just like that, Necract is deflected. He got a shield battery, got a couple of adepts, got a sentry, but not much else. So a good defense so far, and Classic, he does come across the Marines, forcing out another stim. Necract, he knows he cannot fight this. He's trying to escape, trying to get away. Oh, but he is being caught out. Does get 1 Stalker, though. Gets a second. Not bad. 2 Stalkers will go down. But the Marines, they are being chased down, and we should be losing everything here. Forcing out another stim. Oh my god. This army's so heavily overstimmed. Oh my, and the swipes from the Colossus are brutal as we kill every single Marine. 2 Marines make it back home. 1 Marine does survive. Does live to tell the tale. But everyone else knows what's going on here as the Colossi have arrived. We have a 3rd CC on location. Very greedy here out of Necract. Can he get away with it? But now Classic, he's backing off in the midst of taking a 4th base. And this is a really greedy move out of Necract, but we'll see if he can get away with it. As the CC is going to finish. Looks like Classic was waiting for a second Colossus. The CC seconds away from completing, and it looks like it will. The army does arrive. We have plenty of Marauders on the ground. The boys are being pulled. Good pickups here from those Phoenixes. And it looks like we can barely break through. Necract, he had to hold the line then and there. He had to protect that 3rd base, and he barely did not have enough. GG. Classic will take the first game. And it was just brutal having Necract lose all those Marines. I mean, again, imagine that army, imagine that push, but Necract has 12 more Marines at his disposal. I think he moved out with around 16 and did lose a big chunk, but on top of that, he lost everything afterwards, right? Like, he was chased down, he was being a little bit too greedy, and he lost almost every single Marine. Only 1 survived, and that meant that his army was that much weaker. He was taking a chance, taking a risk, expanding on location, but that also meant that he had less of a defender's advantage at that fight, at that 3rd base. He was a little bit more exposed, more out in the open, no SimCity working for him, and Classic does take the first game. GG, well played. Is this a rerun? It is not. It is not. These games did occur a couple of days ago. I want to say around 2 or so days ago. But it's at a really bad time here in land of Europe. So we are going over replays. Going over the replays here to catch up on what we missed out on. On what was happening while we were sleeping. Oh. And here we go. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Alcyone, we have the Blue Terran player. The Blue Terran representing his new team, Platinum Heroes. It is Nicaract. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing Twisted Minds. It is ClanKy. Oh, did I press the wrong button? There we go. There we go. As we have found ourselves here on Alcyone and Nicaract. What kind of build do we have in store for us this time? Now, this map is more macro-oriented, so I do expect more of a macro build. As I say that, I may have to eat my words. The SV comes in from left-hand side, is spotted by the probe. It looked like Nicaract was planning to go for an eBay block, still going for it, but ClanKy has eyes on this, and he will shut this down. Yeah, second probe does move down to the low ground, and a third, oh my god, and even a third probe as well. Just making sure that the eBay is denied. And as a result, ClanKy will be able to expand on location without too much issue. As it goes for a gate into Cybercore into an expansion. Meanwhile, Nicaract opening up double gas. Okay, interesting. A much more aggressive build out of Nicaract. Opening up double gas, this means a delayed CC and a faster factory. Speaking of, factory is going to be on the way. And we have seen quite a lot of Cyclone drop play in the early game of TVP. Wouldn't be opposed to that for Nicaract. It could just be a standard, faster Hellion into Widowmine production, into Widowmine drop play. We'll see what Nicaract is fond of. ClanKy, of course, getting his expansion up and running. We have that reactor poised to potentially go for an add-on swap. And the Probe Scout will confirm the lack of CC on low ground and the factory that's in production, so ClanKy now knows it was a double gas opener. Big Scout from ClanKy. With that, once again, going to be going for a Stargate opener himself. We have our tech of choice, and should be for Phoenixes. Meanwhile, there's that add-on swap, and it is going to be Cyclones. We spoke about it, but in the early game of TVP, Cyclones can be quite impactful. They can be quite a menace here to the Protoss. Especially in conjunction with Medivacs. Speaking of, Starport is on the way. Now I say Medivacs just because Cyclones kill workers so quickly, disgustingly quickly. It's insane how much DPS Cyclones do have. So something like Cyclone Drop Harass can be very, very impactful and influential here in this matchup in TVP. But for now, we're just continuing Cyclone production. We have map control. We move out across the map. We gain control of the Zelnaga. ClanKy even going for a pylon block here on the low ground, and does somehow slip into the main base, gets eyes on everything, does see the 1-1-1, as well as the CC on the high ground as well. Meanwhile, the Cyclones have arrived. And they're both still up and running, getting quite a bit of damage done. The shield battery isn't done yet. Uh-oh. Shield battery not quite done, but we do take down one of the Cyclones. Yeah, and with that, it looks like Nicaract, he did overextend, losing one Cyclone already. Second Cyclone, less than half HP. With help of this scan, we can focus down these Adepts. 2 Adepts go down. And the shield battery is going to finish just in time. And with the help of the shield battery, we can just completely shut this down. We lose another Cyclone. Expensive losses, very expensive losses here for Nicaract. Trading 2 Cyclones for 3 Adepts, not worth it. Meanwhile, we throw down, oh my, 2 Cybercores. Wait, what? 2 Cybercores have been thrown down. We're letting them finish. No shot. We let them finish as well. Big delay here on the expansion. I think that was a bit of a mistake. I don't think we needed to let that finish. But the CC's on the way. Classic, he's having fun. We force back every single Cyclone. And we will finally expand. More importantly, though, we get confirmation that we have not stopped Cyclone production. How many do we have? 6. 6 Cyclones here for Nicaract. Transitioning into Bio, into 2 more Vaxes. Finally going for an add-on swap, getting out of Cyclones into tanks. And this is going to be a pretty terrifying push. Here we go. Nicaract moving out with quite a devastating army. Vikings, Cyclones, a couple of Marines, Medevac to juggle. And what do we have to defend? Not much, to be honest. We do have a shield battery, we do have an overcharge, but we cannot hold on to this third base. It's not going to happen. The third should be focused down. And there's the cancel. At the same time, Phoenix is wreaking havoc here in the main base, getting 4 SCV kills. But Nicaract, he doesn't carry, commits. Pushes on forward, gets a lock on some of these Immortals. But the Immortals, they just chew away, they just work their way through these Cyclones. Too much DPS. We had 6, we're down to 3. Down to 3 Cyclones remaining here. Oh, down to 2. And GG gets called. Nicaract, his push gets completely shut down. His economy is crippled, and Classic takes the series 2-0. GG, a very solid performance there at a Classic. There were some moments, though, I will say there were some moments where Classic was in a bit of trouble, where the Cyclones were able to gain some value initially, but really good time with the shield battery. Really good time with the shield battery, really good timing of the overcharge as well. Good use of the Phoenixes, and for Classic to have the confidence to even leave his natural base exposed, leave his third exposed, go for a big counterattack, kill SCVs with its Phoenixes while he defends with the Immortals. Just really solid play there out of Classic, and with that, does take it 2-0. GG. GG, well played. He does advance on to the semifinals as well. So we have Max Packs in the upper semis, we have Classic in the lower semis, and Classic has met his next opponent, another player that did not travel to IEM Katowice. It is the Korean Protoss Creator. Let's go. Here we go. We have our next PvP. No Nightmare, unfortunately, but it is going to be Korean Protoss nonetheless. Creator and Classic. Fun fact, Creator did make his way to the grand finals of ESL Open Cup Asia this week, but he actually fell to Nightmare in those finals. Again, Nightmare, he has the best PvP in South Korea. He took down both Classic and Creator to win ESL Asia this week. But this time, there is no Nightmare. This time, it's Classic versus Creator instead, and this is going to be a hard one to call. It is going to be a hard one to call, and we'll see who has the better PvP on the day. As we're getting into game 1 on Hecate. Loading in to Hecate. Let's go. Now again, Classic is a more aggressive Protoss player. Creator is more defensive. If you remember, if you were here for ESL Open Cup Asia, you would have seen that Creator versus Nightmare, that best of 5 was like an hour and a half long. It was a very long PvP, to be honest. Despite how aggressive Korean PvP can be, Creator was very much so mid and late game oriented. We had a lot of Disruptor versus Disruptor. We had a lot of 4-5 base economies even. We'll see if that's going to be the case here, though. As spawning in the top right-hand corner of Hecate, we have our South Korean Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing Twisted Minds. It is Classic. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the other South Korean Protoss, the Blue Protoss, representing Club NV. It is Creator. Here we go. Oh, Este Pie in the chat. Good morning, papi. Good. Dzień dobry. Dzień dobry. Hope you've been having a great morning and a good day. And what better way to really enjoy a morning like this than with the PvP? I mean, Korean PvPs are always a lot of fun. Again, Classic is typically very aggressive, but how will he approach Creator? That is the question. For now, 2-gate opener. 2-gate opener at a Classic, 2-gate opener at a Creator as well. Pretty safe and standard builds between our players. No one taking the risk and going for a gate expand. No one quite pulling a max packs yet. Not yet, at least. I'll be lurking for a bit. Gotta focus on work. All good, Pappy. All good. All good. Hope you have a good day. Hope you enjoy your work. So for the time being, we do have our second pylon in the main base of Classic. Likewise, a second pylon in the main base of Creator, so no one is going for a proxy. Everything is looking standard here, and really we're keeping an eye on the first units of choice. Creator opening up double Adept, Classic opening up double Stalker. Okay, so Creator is going to be more the aggressive player. He's moving out with Adepts, going to be harassing, going to be looking to find a way into the main base and try and eviscerate the economy here of Classic. Likewise with double Stalker, Classic will have a stronger head-to-head fight available to him. His goal is going to be to catch out the Adepts and to focus them down before they can get anywhere near his mineral line. Here we go, Adepts are on the way. We have 2 more behind this, so 4 Adepts in total. This could lead into a Stargate opener as well, like a Stargate follow-up into Oracle production. I would not be surprised. CFC Drew shaded across the map. The Stalkers are here to meet them though. 1 probe does fall, but good target firing here at a Classic. And he will shut down one of those Adepts. And just like that, he does remove the one-shot potential of Creator. Does come into the shade on the right-hand side. Classic following this up with a Robo and a 3rd gateway. This is a 1-base all-in. 1-base all-in at a Classic. This is what we spoke about earlier, about how Classic is more of an aggressive player. Creator is expanding, and he does have nothing but Adepts to defend. Oh, Classic, he did overstay his welcome a little bit, but reinforcements have arrived, and we do commit to the shade. Creator, this was not the shade to commit to, and he will be losing 2 more Adepts. 1 Adept does recall. Actually, both Adepts make it out, but they're so very low. And again, a Mass Stalker versus Mass Adept, you hate to see it, as Creator cannot keep up. Pylon does go down. Trading Stalker for Stalker. Not a bad trade here for Creator. Does force back the army, but more Stalkers are coming. They're on the way. War Prism in production as well to reinforce. And Creator behind this is going for a safety Robo. With this Robo, we need Immortals. We desperately need Immortals as quickly as possible. We need shield batteries as well, but remember, the pylon was killed. Because the pylon went down, the shield battery is heavily delayed. So a delayed shield battery, delayed overcharge. Classic is arriving, and we need a shield battery ASAP. Without it, I don't know if we can hold onto the low ground. Don't know if we can hold. Creator going for a Twilight Council behind this. Going for an Observer first, not an Immortal. Risky move here from Creator. Greedy, actually. Creator, he hasn't scouted. He doesn't know. He has no idea it's a 1-base all-in until now. And we have an overwhelming army. 11 Stalkers to 1 to 0. 0 Stalkers in for Creator. He does warp 1 in. The boys are being pulled. 0 shield batteries. No overcharge. No Immortal. And Classic, he's snowballing out of control. There's just far too much here. Good juggling out of him. Good juggling out of our red Protoss. As he does take control of the low ground. Pushes up into the main base as well. And Creator just doesn't have enough. Does force field the ramp. Immortal's on the way. Immortal is in production, but we're still losing so much in the process here. And can the Immortal survive? Just barely it cannot. Yeah, we warp in straight to the mineral line as well. Stalkers are going down. But we warp in a wave of Zealots. And again, this is still just doing far too much. GG gets called as we deal critical damage, and Classic does take a 1-0 lead. GG. GG, well played. A little bit cut and dry there. Essentially, Creator never scouted. He didn't go for a sentry, so without a scout, without specifically a hallucination scout or an adept across the map, Creator had no idea what was going on. He had no idea that he was being all in. Like, we have full vision, so we saw the one base all in coming a mile away from Classic, but Creator, his adepts were stuck at home, and he didn't open up Sentry. Specifically, we don't have to open up Sentry in PvP, like, you can get away with going Adept, but you need at least one Adept to get across the map. If Creator was able to sneak one Adept across the map, then he's going to be able to confirm the lack of expansion, maybe even get into the main base and confirm exactly what kind of all-in, but even seeing the lack of natural base would have been enough. That would have been enough to tell Creator to play safely, to get shield batteries, to focus and prioritize Immortal production. We would have seen a very different game, but Creator, he was playing in the dark, he was playing blind, and he did fall as a result. With that, Classic takes a lead, and now we're getting into game number 2. Let's go. We are getting into game number 2. When will be the quarterfinals approximately? We are in the semis. We've already wrapped up the quarterfinals, Bobby. We're here in the semifinals, los semifinales. And here we go. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Solaris, we have our red Protoss player representing Twisted Minds. It is Classic. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the blue Protoss player representing Club NV. Down in the series, looking to fight back. It is Creator. Here we go. Our PvP is upon us. And again, that last game was just unfortunate for Creator. He was just, again, playing blind. Didn't really know what he was up against, was caught with his pants down, was caught being too greedy. But I'm sure he will adjust in game number 2. I'm sure he'll be keeping a keener eye on Classic, making sure he's aware of what he's up to. As we once again are setting up with a 2-gate opener from Classic, as well as a 2-gate opener from Creator. We do have, for the time being, mirrored builds. Now, winding it back a little bit, if you remember, in Game 1, Creator did open up Double Adept. We'll see if he continues to do so, or if he goes Stalker Sentry instead. Which would be quite a stark contrast. From an aggressive opener into a very safe opener. Otherwise, we could go Double Adept again, we could go Double Stalker. Stalker Zealot even. We shall see. Stalker Adept, which is more common than Stalker Zealot. As we are waiting for those cybercores to finish up. Meanwhile, both players are scouting, checking for each other's second pylon. Once again, second pylon in the main base of Classic, second pylon in the main base of Creator, so no one is proxying. And we do have a role reversal. Game 2, we have Creator opening up Double Stalker, and Classic going Double Adept. Okay. So here in the early game, it's going to be on Classic to get across the map, to bypass the Stalkers of his opponent, get across the map, and get into a mineral line. Meanwhile, it's going to be on Creator to catch the Adepts of Classic, to shut them down, and gain map control. Ooh, Creator going to be opening up Stargate behind this as well. Very interesting. Okay, Stargate is in production. With that, we gain access to Oracles. So Oracles can get across the map. Adept's going to be chasing down that probe, making sure there is no proxy. And Classic is following this up with a Twilight Council. A much more standard opener. This should be for Blink. And Classic should be looking to expand. Stalkers are here to shut down the pylon. Sentries on the way behind this to scout, to go for hallucinations. And the Adepts, they did go the long way around to get here towards the natural base. Classic does get eyes on the expansion. He's now aware that he's not being one base all in. That's all that Classic was really looking for, at least initially. Ooh, as he meets up with his stalkers. Okay, Classic. Can we break in? The wall has been cancelled. Adepts, they do not make it into the main base. We do not commit to the shade. Okay, Classic going to be pulling back home. Behind this, Blink is on the way. Nexus as well. Creator is indeed opening up Oracle. He has the first Oracle moving out across the map. Second Oracle on the way. And is Classic ready for it? He doesn't have a shield battery in the main base, but he does have Stalkers in position. Does have 4 Stalkers in the main. Nothing protecting the natural. Does recall that Adept. And the Oracle is finding damage. We get 1 probe, we get a Sentry. We almost get a second, forcing the Guardian Shield. Very nice damage here from Creator, getting 4 probes in total and a Revelation. The Oracle will be forced back. At the same time, Classic doesn't get into the main base again. He was not able to confirm what was going on, but he does have Blink finishing up. And a Proxy Gateway. Okay. Classic looking to turn this on its head here. We're going to be working with 3 gateways. I imagine a 4th gateway is going to be in production. We'll see how committed Classic is going to be. Meanwhile, both Oracles are still alive, so Classic should be wary and should be keeping units in position, but never mind, he's moving out. Uh-oh. As he moves out, the Oracles are moving in. The Oracles, they do move in. Shield battery is not done. Nothing in position. Probes are going down, and Classic, he's all in at this point. There's no turning back, and we lose 8, 9 probes across the map. At the same time, though, what is it to defend? Do we have enough? Classic pushing towards the natural. Do you have a shield battery? Do you have an overcharge? Creator is going to be able to hold on. Meanwhile, Blink is done, and Classic, do we have high ground vision? We do. We have that 1 Sentry hallucination into the main base. We bypass the shield batteries. Get into the main. Ooh, and we depower the gateways. No more reinforcements. Not for Creator. Even getting supply blocked. Good control. Does kill 1 Stalker. Rotates back over towards the natural where there are 3 shield batteries. Oh my god. That's a lot of shield batteries. But doesn't matter. That's the question. We can 2-shot Stalkers. Zealots are coming in. 1 Stalker did go down. Void Ray has arrived. Classic being forced back. Looking at the unit stat, we have 15 Stalkers to the 6 of Creator. Classic with a massive army. When he barely will get the Void Ray. Good target firing. Boys are being pulled. Once again, Classic, he ignores the boys. Goes straight for the Stalkers. Gets 1, gets 2, gets the Oracle as well. And Creator barely has anything left. Again, Classic, his economy was crippled. He barely has any mining going on. But his control, his Blink control is always working with. Takes down a pylon, gets a second. Probes are doing what they can, but we're losing so much here in the defense. Void Ray does arrive, but we still have 11 Stalkers. They're so low. But they're still alive. That's what matters. They push in, they dive on the Void Ray, they get a kill. And GG gets called. Classic. Despite losing so much, he went down to 23 probes against like the 40, like the 45 of Creator. And Classic was completely all in. But with Blink, with his micro, with his control, he was able to overcome Creator and take the series 2-0. GG. GG, well played. Oh. Classic does take down Creator 2-0, and he does advance on to the grand finals, again off of what Classic does best. Game 1, Classic went for a 1-base all-in. Game number 2, he was forced into a 2-base all-in. But again, when he's under that kind of pressure, that's when Classic really just ramps it up and really makes it happen. He thrives in the chaos, typically. GG, well played. Classic advances on to the grand finals, where he will face off against his next opponent. We already have our finals ready. It is going to be Classic versus MaxPax in a PvP best of 5. Let's go. Let us go. Unfortunately, we did not have the replays of the upper semis, so we weren't able to cast Max Pax's semifinals match. I would have loved to have seen it, but unfortunately, we don't have the replays. We do have the replays, though, of the grand finals, following Classic further and further into this tournament, into this best of 5. Now, what I will say is that these games have been really fast. We went over the quarterfinals, we went over the semis, and it's just been 2-0s across the board. 2-0s and really fast 2-0s as well. We haven't really been able to sink our teeth into 3-base economy. It's just been 2-base play, time and time again, just 2-base play across the board. Can we get into something a little bit more substantial? I'm not too sure if we can. I'll be honest. Max Pax, I foresee it already. He's going to be going for Gate Expands, and Classic is going to be going for 1-base all-ins. And it's going to be all about whether or not Max Pax can survive or not. We'll see. We're here to find out. We're going to be going on a short break. We're going to be going on a very short break here before the grand finals, so you can take this moment to get some snacks, get some water, hydrate your hydras, stretch your roaches, massage your marines, and drain all of your disruptors. And we'll be back in a couple of minutes with the finals of ESL Open Cup Americas 214. We'll see you soon. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to our replay broadcast of the ESL Open Cup Americas number 214. And this tournament has been blazing by. It's not like we haven't casted that many series. We casted MaxPax versus Maples, Classic versus Nickrat, Classic versus Creator. And our series have been so very quick here, just non-stop all-ins, essentially. 2 base all-ins, 1 base all-ins, forced all-ins. Like, it's just been non-stop aggression so far between our players. And yeah, it's just been a fast tournament. It's been really quick. It's been really fast. And will the finals make up for it? Will we finally sink our teeth into some longer macro play? Maybe. It's still a PvP. And we all know MaxPax, right? We all know how MaxPax approaches Protoss versus Protoss. He's going to be going for economic openers, and he's going to be baiting his opponent into 1 base all-ins. And I'm sure Classic will reciprocate, but I also want to believe that there, depending on the vetoes, depending on the maps, there are going to be situations where Classic may open up economically as well. And we may be able to sink our teeth into something more economic. The scary thing about that, though, we've been casting a decent amount of MaxPax versus Showtime, and even MaxPax versus Hero. And if we ever end up in a situation where we have mirrored builds, and both players go for Gate Expands, that usually leads into Phoenix versus Phoenix, which isn't necessarily what people love. Phoenix versus Phoenix isn't the most dynamic of matchups and dynamic of army compositions facing off against each other, so just a bit of a forewarning that could occur here if we did end up going for mirrored economic builds. So we'll see. We shall see as we get ready here for our grand finals. Again, MaxPax, he just before this tournament, he was our ESL Open Cup Europe champion, and Classic only made it to the semifinals of ESL Open Cup Asia. In Asia, he only made it to the semis. He was knocked out by Nightmare in a PvP as well. We'll see if MaxPax can do the same. We'll see if Classic can overcome that as we get ready for game 1. Ooh, on site Delta. Let's go. Now, site Delta is a map where it is common, very common to go for Gate Expands because there is a ramp leading into the natural. As a result, we could find ourselves in Phoenix versus Phoenix. My eyes really are on Classic. Here we go. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of site Delta, we have our South Korean Protoss player, the red Protoss representing Twisted Minds. It is Classic. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Protoss player representing Storm Gaming. It is MaxPax. From the land of Denmark. And the reason why Gate Expands are very common on this map is because this is one of the few maps where we have a ramp. We have a ramp leading into the natural, so we have a pylon on the low ground for MaxPax with our gateway. Likewise, a pylon on the low ground from Classic with a gateway as well. So very common to go for these more economic builds in PvP. If we go for a double gas opener from our players, we will be going for Stargates first, and if we scout each other, if both players confirm their Stargates, then both players will go for Phoenixes, and they will not stop Phoenix production. So that is a very real possibility. There it is, second gas for Classic. So it's poised for that Stargate. Meanwhile, MaxPax, he avoid... no, never mind. I was like, is he gonna skip the second gas? He delays it, I will say that. Does delay it a little bit there. Cybercore is on their way for both players. And we should be going for Stargates. We'll see if either one can be a little bit cheekier here. We do have a Zealot on the way for Classic, likewise a Zealot for MaxPax. Reason why you want these Zealots is because your opponent should be pylon blocking. We should be seeing a pylon on both natural base locations with our respective probes. And we should be delaying the expansion, which means we need the Zealot to deal with that pylon and to eventually expand. And there we go. With the completion of the Cybercore, we have a Stargate for MaxPax. We have a Stargate for Classic. We both scout each other. We're both fully aware of the Stargate openers, which means, as we spoke about at the start of the game, even before the start of the series, this will most likely lead into Phoenix Wars. Most likely. Doesn't have to, but we should be working towards Phoenixes here. Zealots are going to be moving out across the map. We have our first Zealot here for MaxPax. We have our first Zealot on the high ground here for Classic. We have our Probe Scout just continuing to be annoying. Just dipping into the main base. There it is. Phoenixes are on the way, and they're not going to stop. The Phoenix Wars, they have begun. They have begun, and once you're locked into Phoenix production, you cannot stop. We should be getting into double Stargate production once the natural base gets up and running. Into double Phoenix production. First Adept does get across the map. Zealot breaking through. Oh my god. MaxPax does manage to get a little bit more done here. Adept gets into the main base. Classic in some trouble. 3 probes going to be going down. We get a 4th probe as well. This is getting far too much done. In a mirror matchup, this is disastrous. And already here at the start of the game, Classic is falling behind. 6 probes go down. That one Adept was able to somehow slip in. And just like that, Classic, with that economic deficit, he's behind. He's delayed. We have a second Stargate already on the way for MaxPax. Classic can't afford it. Classic needs more time. It needs to build up more of an economy before he can afford another Stargate, which means immediately MaxPax will have a Phoenix lead, and all it takes is 1 or 2 extra Phoenixes, and you will never lose control of the Phoenix count. You will never lose that lead. This is a really rough start for Classic, and unfortunately, because it's a mirror matchup, you have the same tools. It's so much more difficult to catch back up. Second Stargate just starts. Second Stargate is finishing for MaxPax, and Classic needs to get something done. He comes in, gets a probe kill, getting a couple of probe kills. 3 workers in total. Adept and Zealot do shade into that natural base. Not too bad. 4 probe kills in total. That's a nice start for Classic. And he does somewhat even up the worker counts, but he's behind in Phoenixes. And he's still behind in workers as well. Here we go. Classic going back into the main base, getting even more probe kills. MaxPax ignores the army, goes across the map, instead forces a recall. Shield battery not done. Ooh. Without a shield battery, we can't engage. We cannot engage. We can't be the production. Classic is being focused down, losing 1, 2 Phoenixes. A 3rd Phoenix, a 4th, a 5th, and every Phoenix goes down just like that. MaxPax has taken it. GG gets called. MaxPax takes game number 1. GG. Again, in PvP, if you do fall behind, especially in Phoenix Wars, very difficult to come back, just because, as we just saw, MaxPax, he had a 2 Phoenix lead. He had 2 extra Phoenixes, and that's game. That's just so much more DPS you have available to yourself. So much more tanking potential as well. It was just a massive lead that MaxPax was able to gain from just the economic damage that he dealt at the start of the game, and it was just too much to overcome. MaxPax does take a 1-0 lead. But it's a best of 5. It's a best of 5, and we're done with Site Delta. As a reminder, Site Delta is a map that we see Phoenix Wars very often because of the nature of the map. We don't really see that anywhere else other than Radisson Station, and that's typically vetoed, so we most likely won't be seeing that again. Fingers crossed. Oh, wait. No shot, Bobby. No shot. Fun fact, game number 2. We're getting into Radisson Station. I was not aware of the map order or the map vetoes. Not too sure what the hell was vetoed. I guess Equilibrium. Equilibrium would have been vetoed. Alcyone, I imagine, but somehow Radisson Station made it through, which means we could see Phoenix Wars once again. Oh boy. And here we go, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Radisson Station, we have our blue Protoss player, our South Korean Protoss representing Twisted Minds. It is Classic. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Danish Protoss, the red Protoss player, the best Protoss in all of Europe, representing Storm Gaming. It is MaxPax. Gate expand setup here from MaxPax. Gate expand setup from Classic as well. Everything that I said about side delta is applicable here, where we have a ramp leading into the natural, so it is very common to go for economic openers. Now, what I will say is that the chance of a proxy is also higher on this map. We have very much so a wide open center of the map here. So many places for proxies. We have the goal base, we have the pocket base as well. You can try to go for a one base all in. Otherwise, we should be seeing gate expands, we should be seeing stargates, we should be seeing phoenixes. I say should, I should emphasize that as well, just because Radisson Station is a unique map. There are a lot of really weird, quirky features of the map as well. So we could try to take a different approach. We could just be hyper greedy, as we see never mind. Double gas opener here out of MaxPax. Single gas out of Classic. So MaxPax, it looks like he's going for a Stargate before Nexus. Classic, it's looking like a Nexus first. There we go. Gate into Nexus. A very greedy build here from Classic. Very economic. And MaxPax does confirm. Again, because Classic skipped his second gas geyser, goes for a faster Nexus. Meanwhile, MaxPax should be going for a faster Stargate. As Zelda's being forced out, Pylon Block is here. And we should be seeing a Stargate once the Cybercore finishes. And there it is, Stargate is on the way. Now, there's a bit of a give and take here. On the one hand, obviously, Classic is being very greedy here, and he's going to be taking an economic lead. On the flip side, MaxPax will have Oracles and Phoenixes available to him. But at least we have broken the cycle of Phoenixes, and Classic should not be throwing down a Stargate. We should not be entering Phoenix Wars. It's not really viable just because of how far behind Classic is when it comes to the Stargate. Like, as I say that, this is risky. Classic is going for the Stargate, but he is going to be behind. And the Pylon confirms this as well, by the way. The Pylon of MaxPax did finish. We have eyes on that Stargate, and Phoenix production has commenced for our red Protoss. So, okay, what I will say is that because Classic has a faster natural, because he has better saturation, this should lead into Classic getting a faster second Stargate. And with a second Stargate, we can catch up. I will say that. As the Stargate is done, Phoenix is on the way. Again, significantly behind the Phoenix count here of Max Phoenix up and running. But as I mentioned, Classic should have a faster second Stargate. Should. Phoenix is moving out. We do have a couple of Stalkers on the ground as well to help support, thankfully. And MaxPax will dive on top of the Phoenix already. A brutal start as we do trade one Phoenix, and MaxPax, he escapes with two. No shot. MaxPax, he already had a Phoenix lead. He extends it by killing a Phoenix. Second Stargate is on the way for MaxPax, not for Classic. As Classic is taking extra gases, and we are carrying the production. This should not have happened here. Oh god. Phoenixes will be trading. No one will lose anything, not yet. MaxPax just building up that Phoenix count. He's got double the Phoenix count of Classic. But the Phoenixes are getting quite low. They are getting quite low here. Again, Classic, he did invest into that second gateway. There it is, second Stargate on the way for Classic, but he's just perpetually behind. Is just going to be behind in those Phoenixes. We have 6 Phoenixes to the 3, now the 4 of Classic. Again, he should be maintaining a 2 Phoenix loss or deficit. But he does have Stalkers. The Stalkers will help, the Shield Battery helps, the Overcharge as well. Like Classic, ideally he wants to fight over his Shield Battery. Which is why he's just staying here on top of it. Speaking of, ooh, we do dip in. We force the Overcharge. Fleet Beacon is on the way for Phoenix range. Very nice upgrade. Meanwhile, the Overcharge is about to run out. When it does, Max Packs, he can go back in. Again, Max Packs up to 9 Phoenixes. Oh! Ooh. We'll take some extra hits. Doesn't commit. But he is threatening the bases here. Fleet Beacon also on the way of Max Packs. Looking for a way in. Does take some shield damage. Has to be careful. Shield damage is not negligible. Can swing things in favor of Classic. As we are going to be committing here. Ooh. Do lose 1 Phoenix. Okay, not the best trade from Max Packs. Classic, he is evening things up. He is closing that gap here. Or trying to close the gap in Phoenixes. And of course, Phoenix range is going to be a big upgrade here for Classic. A big power spike for him. And Max Packs is going to have to back off and wait for his own Anion Pulse Crystals to finish. Whew. So a really tense moment for Classic. He's just been stuck at home this entire time, but has been expanding, taking that 3rd base. Likewise, Max Packs taking his own 3rd as well, significantly later than that of Classic. And Classic is working on a 3rd Stargate. So Classic is recovering. He is stabilizing. Still down in Phoenixes, that is true. Phoenix range just kicked in for Max Packs. Even, oh, getting supply blocked. Big moment, actually. With that supply block, he cannot maintain his lead. And Classic, he's evening up. He's closing that gap further and further. We're going for a mothership. Okay. I love this from Max Packs. This is very common. So the reason you want a mothership, detection. Detection is so important here. We do not have an Oracle. Likewise, mothership also on the way. Basically, this is the new meta with the change in the new patch. Because the mothership is cheaper, mothership here to support this army is actually a big part of this. Oh, we're going to really fast carriers. I'm not fond of the carrier switch yet. We can get away with this, but this is a really risky move from Classic. Meanwhile, Classic hasn't been scouting. So the mothership timing from Max Packs is going to be a little bit faster. We do need oracles, basically. We need oracles for detection. Oracles, cannons. A forge for cannons, more importantly, as we do not have a forge here for Classic. Goal base on the way. Looking at the units tab here, Max Packs has a full Phoenix lead, but the carrier is about to come out. And the carriers will change everything. So Classic coming out on top here. He has the better economy. He will soon have the better army. Go based on the way for Max Packs. It does feel like Max Packs is one step behind. Plus one air attack is on the way for both players. Mothership has arrived, but the Mothership is about to pop out here for Classic as well. And Classic, he's even getting the Oracle. Oracle is on the way. There we go. Can Max Packs pull this off? The Mothership! Mothership is exposed, and it's going to be going down. Big pick off. Classic catching Max Packs off guard. And Max Packs, he's in a lot of trouble. We are pushing. Minus 300 for Max Packs. Tries to go in, doesn't have detection. Cloak does run out. Observers on the way for Max Packs. And now with these carriers, we can actually shoot down. We can shoot down, we can focus down the probes, focus down the bases. And Max Packs, he's falling further and further behind. Again, initially he did have it. He still has a Phoenix lead. Ooh, good target firing. But Classic, he was able to get a faster third base, get the faster fourth, tech up into carriers, get away with it as well. And Classic, he's snowballing out of control here. With the carriers as the backbone of his army, Classic is fighting back. With Cloak especially here. We can see the units tab, but MaxPax falling behind in Phoenix's. We'll lose the goal base. And Classic just has to chill, consolidate his army, rally across the map, and work towards one big push. Behind this, making 5 Phoenixes at a time. Both players are. Carrier does tank some shots. And yeah, GG gets called. There's no coming back from this. Once you take a big enough loss, you cannot recover. And Classic will tap the series 1-1. GG. Again, a very tense start for Classic when he lost the first Phoenix. But as we saw, MaxPax was on a bit of a timer because Classic did have a better economy. MaxPax had to try to leverage his advantage quickly, as quick as possible. Alas, he just was not able to. Classic was able to get away with his carrier production, faster third, better economy, better production as a result for a while there. Did end up snowballing out of control. GG. GG, well played. We have a series. We have a series. We have a back and forth. We are tied up 1-1. And where will this take us as, ooh, game number 3 is going to be on Golden Aura. I'm feeling one base play. I'm feeling a one base all in from Classic, but we'll see. Golden Aura has a short rush distance by ground. This is one of the few maps where MaxPax goes for a gate expand setup, but a gateway on the high ground, typically, is what we see from MaxPax. We'll see if he does that here, or if he goes for the gateway on the low ground instead. We'll see how greedy he's feeling. As we're getting into game number 3 and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Golden Aura, we have our blue Protoss player representing Twisted Minds, tying up the series 1-1. It is Classic. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the red Protoss player going for the gateway on the high ground. Representing Psystorm Gaming, the Danish Protoss, it is MaxPax. Here we go. So MaxPax has been very fond of this. We saw this last night when we were casting, was it last night? We saw this last week even, when we were casting MaxPax versus, was it Nightmare? Was it Creator? Was it Hero? It all blends together. All blends together, man. But specifically, even though we have a gateway on the high ground, this is not a 2-gate opener. So don't be fooled. Oh, or is it? It's a fast second gas. Very fast. This should be a gate Cybercore into Stargate into expansion from MaxPax. And we should be seeing a 2-gate opener at a Classic. Second pylons have been thrown down. Scout's going to be coming in. And the reason why this is done, as the Cybercore is on the way, Classic going for a mirrored build. Let's go! Okay, but the reason why you do this is that because the rush distance by ground on Golden Aura is so short, because all-ins are so common and so powerful on this map, you want to save your production. You want to keep your gateway and your Cybercore safe here on the high ground in the main base, not on the low ground. But again, this is still working towards a Stargate. This is working towards an expansion. We could see once. I was not expecting this, to be fair, on Golden Aura, but because Classic is going for the same build, we could be seeing Phoenixes again. Yep, Stargates are on the way. Phoenix Wars, 3 games in a row. Crazy. 3 games in a row, Phoenix Wars are here. The reason for this, of course, is because of their builds of choice, because we're going for the Stargate before expansion. We have to make Phoenixes at this point, and both players have scouted each other. MaxPax sees the Stargate, Classic also sees the Stargate. Phoenixes need to be made. And once again, we're locked in. We are locked in. Dept going to be moving out across the map. Do dive on top of the Zealot of MaxPax. And we're going to be able to focus it down. Oh, just barely does escape. MaxPax tries to save it, but for only so long. As the Zealot will go down, MaxPax instead gets across the map. And Phoenixes are in production, as to be expected. So once again, Phoenix Wars, they have begun. They have begun. I'll be honest, I was really expecting Classic to go for a one base all in this game. I was hoping for it, but it is not meant to be. Phoenixes, of course, reveal themselves. Dept threatens a shade, but will race back home. So we have that Adept on Adept action. MaxPax moving out across the map, trying to take a lead here in the overall army, but we'll fall back. There you go. Second Stargate is on the way for Classic. Second Stargate on the way for MaxPax. And we have to commit here to just Mass Phoenix. And is there any distinct advantage? This is the first time where it isn't just Phoenix Wars, but this is the first time where both players are mirroring each other. If you remember, both in Game 1 and Game 2, we had variations of the same build. And we didn't quite have mirrored builds until now. This is where both players are just mirroring each other almost exactly. So really hard to see who is at an advantage. MaxPax has a slight Phoenix lead, like when it comes to the timing of his Phoenixes. So MaxPax is a very slight advantage, but only slight. This is still anyone's game. Still up in the air for anyone to take. We have 7 Phoenixes for MaxPax, 6 for Classic. Just push in. Oh, gets 1. Does get 1, does get 2 as well. Very good control there out of MaxPax. A brutal trade. He kills 2 for 1. 2 Phoenixes from Classic go down, 1 from MaxPax. And just like that, MaxPax, he takes a lead. Takes a lead, tries to camp the production. Doesn't quite get anything. But very nice stacking out of MaxPax. As Classic moves out across the map, MaxPax looking to try to catch out one of those Phoenixes. Does force a cancel. Probes are going to be going down for both players. Yeah, we throw caution to the wind. Workers are going down at the same time that MaxPax is also came to the production. Likewise, Classic also tries to as well. But he's late. He is late to the party. More probes falling for Classic. Forcing Phoenixes to be cancelled. And MaxPax, he's just strictly ahead here in Phoenixes. It took Classic a little bit too long to camp the production. So MaxPax has got away with like 1 or 2 extra Phoenixes. Range is on the way. Again, I don't know if you've noticed, but we just keep canceling these Phoenixes and oh, they come out. No, they escape. We do have a recall back home and MaxPax has a massive lead. Ay, ay, ay. 12-7. 12 Phoenixes to the 7 of Classic. As MaxPax, he was able to crank out a couple of extra Phoenixes and he got away with it. And Classic is at an even worse deficit. Ay, ay, ay. Again, the start of that, like, quote-unquote base trade was brutal. Because if you remember, one was not quite like the other. Classic, he was killing workers at the natural. MaxPax was intentionally only killing workers in the main, while also forcing cancels of these Phoenixes of the Stargates. And now they're going to be clashing. MaxPax, he has the Phoenix lead, and he's going to be able to chase down Classic. Every single Phoenix goes down. GG gets called, and MaxPax takes game number 3. GG. GG, well played again. Classic, it took him a little bit too long to realize what was happening and a little bit too long to reciprocate and start camping the production of MaxPax. As a result, MaxPax, he got away with 2 extra waves of production. He made 2 extra Phoenixes at the beginning and 2 extra Phoenixes at the end. Plus, he killed 1 extra Phoenix in their first little skirmish. So he had a 5 Phoenix lead, and that's game. Like, that's that's just game then and there. So very nicely done there from MaxPax. Again, like, clearly showing that he has a lot of experience in that scenario and being fully aware of, like, what exactly to punish and how best to punish the opposing player as well. It was really smart. Just really smart play out of MaxPax, and Classic, he was just one step behind when it came to trying to keep up with him and trying to respond to him. GG, well played. And with that, MaxPax is 1 game away from taking the entire series and from becoming this week's ESL Open Cup Americas champion. Meanwhile, Classic has to fight back here and now to force the ace match. And our next map, gonna be another large one. We're loading into Equilibrium. And things are about to get wild. Not unheard of for players to rush into that gold. The gold bases are so tempting on this map. Do we go for the gold? Do we go for an all-in? My eyes are on Classic, but here we go. Spawning in the top right-hand corner of Equilibrium, we have our blue Protoss player representing Twisted Minds. Down in this series, he has to fight back here and now to force the ace match. It is Classic. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the Danish Protoss player, the red Protoss representing Storm Gaming. Uno mas, 1 more is all he needs. It is MaxPax. Hold on. I need to respond to this. Hold on. Where's my now where's my ice? No. Okay, I'll do this instead. There you go. Beautiful. As we do have MaxPax going for a gate expand, we do see Classic going for a single gate opener for the time being. I'm curious. Classic, what do you have in store for us here? Are we going for a gate cyber expand as well? Yeah, there's a cyber core. Okay, so I'm a little bit shocked. Not gonna lie, I'm a little bit shocked here by this opener. MaxPax is going straight for the Nexus. He opened up with a single gas geyser. We have a very economic, very greedy build here from MaxPax. Delaying a second gas geyser, going for an even faster Nexus than normal. Meanwhile, Classic is opening up with a gate, cyber, into Stargate, into expansion. Oh, I say that. After seeing the build, even though Classic has an abundance of gas to work with, he may opt to go for a faster Nexus. Cybercore is done. There it is. Stargate is on the way. So go Stargate, then expand from Classic. Now, this could lead into Phoenix Wars. MaxPax can still throw down a Stargate as a response, and we could see a role reversal from Radisson Station. And there it is. Every game. I can't believe it. I'm shocked. I was so sure that at some point here, Classic would be going for a one-base all-in, but no, because of the vetoes, specifically because of the vetoes. We've been playing on Side Delta, we've been playing on Radisson Station, we've played on Golden Aura, and now here on Equilibrium. We are going for Phoenix Wars. Time and time again. If we were loading into Hard Lead, for example, if we were loading into Oceanborn, 100% one-base all-ins would be on the table, but those are just not the maps that we're getting. We're going Oracle first. Ooh, Oracle first here from Classic. Uh-oh. He does see the Stargate. Phoenix is on the way. This is a risky move. Very risky here at a Classic. Rushing into that Oracle, then into Phoenixes. The Oracle, it needs to get damage done as we do get across the map. Meanwhile, Phoenix is on the way. We do wall off. Phoenix is on the way here. Poised to intercept. And this Oracle, it's not going to get anything done. A good positioning here at a max packs. The Oracle has to commit. We get one. We get one, we get two. Oh, three, four. Not bad. Five. Oh my god. Not bad at all. Despite the Phoenix, 5 probes go down. Pretty good damage. Pretty good damage here from Classic. Now, what I will say is that that was very necessary damage. Very necessary damage from Classic because of the faster expansion. Remember, Max Packs did have a faster Nexus. As a result, he had a higher worker count, and he still has a worker lead. So that was enough to basically catch up. Meanwhile, because he went for the Oracle first, Classic is behind. He's behind in Phoenixes. The Adepte gets into the main base. We can't afford to lose probes. 2 probes go down. Not like this. Again, Max Packs, he is up 1 Phoenix. Second Stargate on the way for both Classic and Max Packs. Once again, every game in this series so far, Phoenix Wars. Phoenix Wars are upon us. Again, because of the maps, because of the builds. I mean, the builds based on the maps we have been choosing has just naturally led towards Phoenix versus Phoenix. And we're locked into it once again. We are locked in. Meanwhile, we'll see if anyone can catch the other off guard. Again, Classic, because he's down in Phoenixes, he needs to fight back at home with shield batteries, with the defender's advantage. That would be ideal. But fights, they happen so quickly here when Phoenixes engage. Try to camp the production. Classic is in position. Does even up those Phoenixes. From here, we should soon be throwing down a Fleet Beacon, of course. As I say that, there it is. Fleet Beacon on the way for Max Packs. Fleet Beacon should soon be on the way for Classic as well, to head into Phoenix range. Ooh, Classic going for a 3rd base first. Okay. Does invest into a 3rd. Meanwhile, Max Packs looks like his own 3rd base will be the gold instead. Yeah, Fleet Beacon was delayed by Classic. Gold is in production from Max Packs as he does catch out the Phoenixes. Oh, does get caught out. Big moment for Classic. Does catch a Phoenix. He has momentum. Forces a recall. Gets another. Big wins here. Big wins for Classic. Does take down 6 Phoenixes as opposed to the 3 from Max Packs. And just like that, Classic does have a double Phoenix lead. Now, Phoenix range is going to be finishing first for Max Packs. That is a big power spike that could make a fight for him. But until then, Classic needs to push. Like, we need to camp the production. 100%. Classic, he has a lead. He has an advantage. He needs to flex it. And he will catch a couple of probes. 1, 2 workers go down. We get a 3rd. And we should keep pushing. We do need to press our advantage. Classic, he's up 3 Phoenixes. And now 2. Really good stacking. Classic, he wants to try to camp at that Stargate. Oh my god. Max Packs. That was a costly trade. He sacrificed some probes to kill a Phoenix. Did get one. Did kill a Phoenix. And he does have the gold. Now, bearing in mind, Max Packs did lose a lot of workers. That is true. But he has more efficient mining. With the gold base, with the Rich Rescuing Gas Geyser as well. He can do more with less. Looking at the economic graph here, Classic had a bit of a spike, but you can see things evening up a little bit as that gold base is being saturated. Meanwhile, Classic looking to take his own gold. Max Packs rushing into a mothership and a carrier. Bold move. As we saw, there is a window. There is a window here where Max Packs is not making Phoenixes, and he already had a Phoenix deficit. If Classic pushes now, then Max Packs could die. Looking at the units tab, we're actually on even Phoenixes. But again, Classic is trying to build up even more. And because Classic is chilling back at home, he's letting MaxPax get away with this. Yeah, he's getting away with the carriers, and they're getting up and running. Classic, he had an advantage. As he's still hyperfixated here on Mass Phoenix. Now getting into his own carriers, but he's behind in the carrier production. Fourth base is on the way. Again, you can see the economy is evening up as the gold is up and running for MaxPax. Likewise, also on the way here for Classic. And from here, we're just going to be chilling. I mean, we are on a large map. Equilibrium, it's pretty huge. It's a pretty huge map overall. So we may just chill, take 4 bases, and max out. And it may come down to one big clash of Sky Toss. So the scouting probe goes down. I believe MaxPax did see the 5th. Yes, he did see the 5th base. That should trigger a 5th base from MaxPax as well. Loving the second Cybercore on the way for air upgrades. To work on +1 air defense. We have a Forge. Forges for cannons, can also be for shield upgrades. So it's going to be pure Skytals versus pure Skytals. Speaking of, shields are on the way for Classic. There go, shields on the way from our opponent as well. Oh my god. As we do manage to kill 4 probes in the main. 5 probes even. So Adept does shade in. Not too bad dealing some economic damage. But we're just, you know, dealing a bit of light harassment. While we focus on maxing out. Interesting that Classic, he stopped at 2. I'm not too sure how I feel about this. So Classic, he stopped at 2 carriers and now he's been focusing on Mass Phoenix. Meanwhile, we do see MaxPax getting up to 6 carriers, soon to be 7. Sorry, he's got 7 carriers, soon to be 8. 8 carriers here for MaxPax. Coming in with the sentry for a Guardian Shield, I imagine, as well. And here we go, MaxPax pushing in. He's got his carrier lead. He is significantly behind when it comes to the Phoenixes. But does throw down a big slow zone here on top of the army. Phoenixes, they do engage with each other. Mothership's going to be going down for both players. But the carriers, they go to town here on the Phoenixes. And the carriers are doing so much. Yeah, they're going unimpeded. Every single Phoenix is going to be going down. The carriers, they reign supreme. Yeah, they just mow their way through the Phoenixes. Classic, he cannot keep up. Does have a wave of reinforcements. But it's not enough. Carriers are just far too tanky. Yeah, GG gets called. They will not go down. The mass carrier of MaxPax snowballs out of control. And MaxPax will take the series 3-1, becoming this week's ESL Open Cup Americas champion. GG. GG, well played. Again, Phoenix Wars, they're good and all, but clearly the mass carrier, the 7 carrier counts, they were just tanking and soaking so many of those Phoenix shots. They're doing so well tanking shots, they snowballed themselves out of control. GG. GG, well played. And who do I see in the chat? El Pollo Loco, papi. Hello, big shout out to Chicken Man. I believe Chicken Man may have been casting this live. I'm not too certain. I think Dave was around and some of the other English casters. But welcome, papi, welcome. Fellow caster, fellow foul caster. Quack, papi, quack. But GG, well played. MaxPax, despite having a bit of a deficit. Remember, it all started with Classic killing extra Phoenixes, killing extra workers as well. Classic was able to gain a lead. But Classic was late when it came to his own carrier production, and he decided to cut carriers at 2 and focus on Phoenixes instead. And he just wasn't able to keep up with the army of his opponents, of MaxPax. GG. Just being steadfast. Ah, there you go. There you go. But a big shout out to Chicken Man. Again, Bappy, I'm still in Bologna, so I won't be able to cast ESL Americas live anymore, unfortunately. Gonna be all over Europe. All over Europe and Asia, but not Americas. Not Americas. We'll be casting my replays. Regardless, GG, well played. MaxPax, he will be taking Americas and Europe as well, back to back. Didn't go for the Triple Crown, didn't go for the Trifecta, as MaxPax does not compete in ESL Open Cup Asia. It's just a little bit too early for MaxPax, unfortunately. A little bit too early in the morning. But MaxPax, he is primed for the later events instead. And yeah, does take the Americas, is our champion this week. GG. GG, well played. MaxPax won Americas and Europe, and Nightmare won Asia. So just non-stop Protoss champions for this week, at least. For this week. And I look forward to next week and the coming weeks when everyone returns from IEM Katowice, when everyone returns to competitive play in these online weeklies. We'll see a return of Hero, Bjorn, Cure, Dark, Clem. They're all going to be coming back. Look forward to it. Do look forward to it. Hope you're enjoying it. I am, Pappy, I am. IEM Katowice was great. It was a great experience, a great event. I don't know if I'm ever going to be coming back. I don't know if I'm ever going to be returning to IEM Katowice, but I'm happy to have borne witness to it at least once. At least once. It was great. It was beautiful. GG. GG, well played. It was great keeping up and meeting up with everyone. Meeting up with fans, with viewers, community members, casters, players. Beautiful. All the non-Protoss are too busy winning Katowice. True, true. Not like this. But yeah, with that, we are done here for the day. A bit of a shorter broadcast. I don't know if you had the same experience, Chicken Man, but like these games are really quick, really fast games. The finals was a little bit longer, but the quarterfinals, the semifinals matches, really fast games, a lot of all-ins, a lot of 2-base play, a lot of 1-base play. Just some really fast series. Only a 2-hour broadcast, but regardless, was a lot of fun. Was a lot of fun. A lot of quick ones. Yeah, a lot of quick ones, Pappy. A lot of quick ones. And we are going to be heading off for the night. Again, this is going to be our only broadcast today. Tomorrow, we are going to be diving into some IEM Katowice replays. So we do have to sort them out. We do have to figure out what we want to cover and how exactly we want to approach it. But basically, as I was live at the event and I was watching everything on the main stream, I missed out on everything on the B and C stream. So we are going over some of those side stream matches on the CranKy Ducklings tomorrow. Starting tomorrow, and in the coming weeks we'll be going over all the replays of what we do have. So plenty of content to come. On top of that, I believe KSL is this weekend. Let me just double check. Yes, the Korean StarCraft League is this weekend, so stay tuned for that. We will not be casting that live either. We're going to be casting that by replays. Again, because we're here in Europe, these Korean events are at a worse time for us. Feels bad, man. Feels bad, but always happy to go over replays instead. As KSL will be this weekend. In the upcoming weeks, we of course have the return of the Club NV Ducklings Showdown. We have the ESL Open Cups. Sparkling Tuna Cup will be making its return as well at the end of February. And many other events to come. We do have a bit of a... This is a bit of an off-season with the completion of IEM Katowice. We know a lot of big events are taking a break. You know, Kung Fu Cup, World Team League, WTL, GSL, still all to come back. Soon TM. Soon TM. Until then, though, enjoy yourselves. Enjoy the break. I'm, especially after the last intense week of StarCraft, I'm more than happy to have a day off here or there. I'm more than happy to have a day off and just decompress. Just calm down, Bobby. Calm down. But yeah, with that, thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for the support. Stick around. We're going to be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. Not too sure who, but we'll find someone to send our love to. Thriving GG has been raiding us a lot, but it looks like he actually just got a raid. Never mind. He has a lot of viewers. We'll find someone else. Code Bar is streaming. Ranger is playing Monster Hunter. We have Kelka. Who else? Supernova streaming. 4GG is hosting a rerun. Never mind. Never mind. Yo, if Chicken Man were to stream, we could raid Chicken Man. Just saying. But we may as well raid Code Bar. I haven't raided Code Bar in a long time, so stick around. Give Code Bar some love, some support. He is a GM Zerg player, so give him a chance. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much for the support. Let me just pop this 3 AM stream. Yeah, let's go. Thanks so much, everyone. Thanks for the support. We'll see you guys tomorrow for some more StarCraft action. Until then, thank you so much for watching. Hasta luego. Ciao. Happy ciao. Hasta luego.